Welcome to the demonstration session on how to write functions in Python. We already know the basics of concept of functions. It is for the modular programming. Function is an independent section of the code which can be executed by calling by its name from the main function. We can pass the parameters and functions can return the value. Passing parameter is optional. There may be parameter, there may not be parameters. Function should have a name, obviously. There are conventions for giving name to the functions, just like there are conventions for giving name to the variables in any language. So is in Python. We will see how to write functions in Python and how to call the functions, how to pass the parameters, altogether how to use functions. There's a keyword def for defining the function. We're not specifying any return type in the case of Python. Def followed by the name of the function. Def followed by the name of the function, and then the line ends with the colon. Inside the function, we are writing the statements. Let me write as inside the function. That's all. We are not returning any value. We are not passing any parameters. Again, to repeat, def is a keyword which is used for defining the function. Def is followed by name of the function, brackets, and then ends with a colon. There has to be an indentation here, followed by the line of text. Now I define the function. Okay, function definition is over. After that, I will add a code segment. Where I will just call my function. Call my function, and I can expect the statement getting printed. The statement is getting printed. That is the simplest way of demonstrating the use of a function. I have written a function, and now this function can be used anywhere. Now let us see how to pass the parameters. I will pass a parameter called name. Okay. Inside the function, I'll say name is and a concatenation symbol. I'll say name. Let's see what happens. That is, what I'm doing is I'm passing a variable called name, and I'm trying to print that variable over here. I will compile and keep the function ready, and I will pass the parameter as some constant string. I'll say my name is my parameter. That's getting printed. So inside the function, name is my name. My name is the string. When I'm calling the function, I have passed the parameter as my name. You can have any number of parameters. Let me say age. I will do a concatenation again, a little bit of space, and I will concatenate with the value age. While passing, I'll pass my name. I'll pass my name followed by comma. Parameters are separated by comma, followed by age. Of course, I don't write my age. I write print. Okay, let's think that all of us are younger always. So let me keep my age in print. Oh, there's an error. Let us see what. Okay, so I have compiled this function and I'm trying to run this, my name and age, and let us look at this error and try to debug. must be an str, not an int. There is a type error. That is, it is taking this parameter as a string. You can see that the error is called as a type error. We can overcome with this using an exception handling, which we will be seeing it later. So type error says that this parameter, that is this age, must be a string but not an integer. So that is what creating the problem in the concatenation. So let me, in this example, let me place this inside double quotes. Okay, run this. That solves my problem for time being. I don't recommend this always because age is an integer. I want this to be an integer. We will keep that question to the later discussion on how to convert a string to an integer. You can explore all this. But here the problem was that the data writing device, because I'm trying to concatenate with the string. That was the exception what got generated. The main focus here is to understand how to pass two parameters. I have passed two parameters over here. Those parameters are used, and this is the function called having the two parameters. So we have written a function. We know now how to pass the parameters. This is how to call the function with two different parameters. So that is a simple example for functions and passing their parameters. By chance now, if I miss a parameter, this is the case. Obviously, what we are expecting is an error. That is the error. That error it says function 1 is missing one required positional argument age. There is a concept called default parameters. I'm compiling the code once again. Now I will run this and I'm getting the output. Even though I'm passing one parameter here, I'm getting the output, unlike the previous example, because I have given age is equal to 20 in the function name itself. This concept is called as the default argument. That is, if the value is not passed from the function, take the default value. Now, if I pass a value, let me say 50, I will run this. I am getting the value 50 in the output. That means default argument is overridden. Default argument is overridden by the value which was sent from the function call. If the value is not sent from the function call, then the default argument is taken. That is the significance of default argument. So that is another additional features what we have over here is called as default arguments. Then we have something called as keyword arguments. Let me take a different example over here. I take a different example which makes a bit more sense. I will add a code segment and I will tweak some code over here. I will run this part of the section. Now you can see that there are three childs. Child 1 is Emil, child 2 is Tobias, child 3 is Linus. Okay. So, and for my function, child 3, child 2, child 1, that is the sequence. Whereas when I am passing from my function, I use child 1 is equal to this assignment, not an equal to. Equal to is actually double equal to in programming language, but when we are reading, we will call it as equal to. Okay, child 1 is assigned with the value Emil, child 2 is assigned with the value Tobias, child 3 is assigned with the value Linus. Okay, so let us rename the children. Okay, let me say Amar, Akbar and Anthony. Now I compiled the code. I'm running this. Sorry, I'm running this, and the youngest child is Anthony. That is child 3. Child 3 is here when I am passing, whereas in my function, I have written child 3, child 2, child 1. But when I am calling the function, I am saying child 1 is Amar, child 2 is Akbar, child 3 is Anthony. I will change the value. Child 3 comes to the center, child 2 I am keeping at the end. I change the order of the namings. Child 1 is Amar, child 3 is Akbar, child 2 is Anthony. Run the code. Okay. Youngest child is Akbar. That is child 3. That means whatever may be the order of the parameters, I want the convention is that 1 to 1. That is, first parameter goes to the first parameter in the function. First parameter in the call function goes to the, second parameter goes to the second variable, third parameter goes to the third variable. We can override this sequence using a concept called as positional parameters. This is called as keyword arguments. This is called as a keyword argument. The syntax is, when I am calling the function, use those names which are given in the function declaration, assign the values explicitly inside the function call. Child 1, I know the variable name is child 1 and I assign the value to Amar. Child 3, I am assigning the value. Child 2, I am assigning the value. So this value will be taken in the function call. Not first one to first one. It is not second one to second one, not third one to third one, but in the order that you assign. This is called as keyword argument, where you can override the default sequence of variable assignment. So this is required when you don't have a proper order in which you have to give the parameters, or the order may keep changing based on your requirement. In that case, you should know the variable names and you can explicitly assign the values. This property is called as the keyword argument. Okay. So we have seen we have seen the normal arguments. We have seen default arguments. We have seen keyword arguments. In addition to passing the basic data types, we can also pass arrays. We can also pass lists, dictionaries, class, objects. These type of parameters can also be passed. I leave this for you to explore further and find out how to do that, passing different data types. As a last part of this discussion, I'll just demonstrate how to return a value. Okay, so this is an example to return the value, just with the keyword return. I will run this code. You can see that different values are returned. Just like any other function, or any other language, here we are using a return keyword followed by a value. Return keyword followed by the value which has to be returned. Whenever the function is called, the value is returned to the place where the function was called. So again, to repeat, function declaration starts with the def keyword followed by a function name, ends with colon, then the statement of functions. Return keyword is for returning something. We can have parameters, normal parameters, default parameters, keyword parameters. There's one more called as arbitrary arguments. Here I will leave this as an assignment for you to find out what is arbitrary argument. This is a special feature in Python using of arbitrary argument. That I will leave it as an assignment for you. Okay, with that I will stop this discussion on functions. That's all what I have to explain on functions. There's one more concept here is called as lambda functions that I'll take in the next session of the. Thank you. We'll see you in the next session where I will discuss about the lambda functions.